listening to Ace on the House.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. A choice, but to get on, man. Get it on. Welcome to Take a Knee. I'm Ace Carolla, man. That's Ray Oldhofer over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. What's
I'm
going on?
stepping up.
Stepping up.
I'm on Take a Knee.
Oh, did I say take a knee?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I was thinking about take a knee because we're just talking about Ace on the House, man.
Ah!
That's right. Sorry, brother. Well, wait a minute.
We do want to hear about Ray's rise to success.
Are we? Hold on now. Hey, come on now. Are we doing caution?
Get carried away.
Are we doing cautionary tales?
That's
there you go.
That's this week's show.
Isn't the Take a Knee version of Ray, How Did We Get Here?
Mm-hmm. How did we get
everybody's
here?
funny.
All right. Yeah, that was my plan. I wanted to go around to Home Depots and Arby's and find anyone who is 70 behind the counter and go, how'd we get here? And then I'd share it with my kids. There'd be many, a lot of overlap. All right. So, Rezo.
Yeah.
You're working on Finding You, right? Like you're not working on any projects now?
Yeah. Finding me. It's like Finding Nemo, but Finding Ray.
I had Finding Rezo. I had a couple of funny ones from the annals of building out Natalia's room today and yesterday. Some funny stuff. Stuff you can never really quite like. It's an interesting. It's a math thing. I find it interesting. So anyway, Roberto's spreading some stucco out on the wall, right? And he's running short, okay?
Okay.
And he's using these 60-pound sacks of stucco. And
Is it type S or stucco?
Oh, I'd probably says like
what color is it?
I'm colorblind. Negro. It's probably color. It's probably like, it probably says like stucco mix on it or something. I don't know if it's just type S. It's grayish. It goes on a little dark gray, gets a little lighter gray. But the stuff that I find fascinating is it looks like he's going to be a couple bags short. He's going to be 2 60-pound sacks short.
Yeah, but they also come in 90, bro.
Okay, bro. But Gary gets the 60 because the 90's a little tough to hustle around to the back of the wagon. So Gary is dispatched to get 2 60-pound sacks of concrete, or I should say stucco mix. But we decide, let's get 3 and play it safe. So now he's dispatched to get 3 60-pound sacks of concrete. Stucco mix.
Mortar, whatever. Comes back with 4 80-pound. And this is the part of life that I'm always interested in, which is, why'd you get 4 80-pound? I want to make sure we had enough. But 2 60s were enough, but then we got the extra 60, so that would be enough. But now you got twice as much that would have been enough.
They were out of the 60s. Right, they're out of the 60s, but the 360s add up to 180. The
280s add up to
160,
yeah.
But 380s are 240, but 480s, that's twice as much. Yeah, I want to make sure we had enough. You went to a bigger size and got more.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, I don't mind getting stuck with the stucco. I'm just always interested in that. And of course, the word always goes down. Did you have your phone with you? Yes. Why not give a call? And then I will tell you, do not. By the way, if the 260s were enough, and we got the third just to make sure we were covered, I'd tell you, just get the 280s. That'll get us to 160 versus 120.
Do you do this a lot? Do you go like...
I'm confused, like I'm perplexed, like I'm like, it's all about you just sort of eating money and eating time, like whatever time it took to unload and load. And then also you're kind of stuck with it. Like you have to go put it somewhere, keep it out of the rain, it'll end up going hard and you'll throw it away in 9 months.
Yeah, it's got to be off the ground.
But it's weird. right?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you say, take it back, get me the money back, and take it back after work? Because I don't know how you arrive when you're...
That's just going to cost you more money, because then he's going to leave early.
When you're dispatched to get 3 60-pound sacks, why you come home with 4 80-pound sacks? And it's a small patch. Like, it's a little... Like, Roberto's, like, playing it safe. Like, we're getting close. You know, it's not a large patch. It's a smallish patch. Well, you just got enough to do the whole house.
I got another idea, though. Here you go. So, all this happens to you. Now, in podcast time, actually, Gary's making you money.
Aha.
See, the more more
good content.
foibles of Gary, the better for you.
I had a funny one. I had another funny one I'll tell you about in a second. First, I'll tell you about Geico, man. You got the to-do list. Go pick up the Type S. Go pick up the mortar mix. You're going to tell us what the difference between Type S and mortar mix is in a second. And how about you save hundreds of dollars on your auto insurance? Just go to geico.com. 15 minutes. You could be saving 15% or more on your car insurance. Put that extra money in your pocket and save at geico.com. That is geico.com. Spend 15 minutes and see if you can save 15% on your car insurance. Does stucco mix have a little aggregate, have some pebbles or something in it?
No. Stucco mix is going to be the same as mortar mix. Stucco mix does have, sometimes it has fibers in it.
Fibers?
Yeah.
But other than that, it's the same as Type S?
Yes.
So
Type S is rated at 1,800 PSI, so it's got a strength quality.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all structural. There's Type S, Type M, and Type N.
So according to, didn't mean to interrupt. According to what I'm reading here, Type N is what people would consider just mortar mix.
Type N is mortar mix.
And what's the PSI on that?
Medium compression strength, 750 PSI mortar can achieve 28-day strength between 1,500 and 2,400.
So the difference between just Type S mortar mix and stucco mix is what, Gary?
I'm sorry, I was searching the difference between Type S and mortar mix, not stucco mix. So if you give me a
Stucco
moment
mix. Well, Type S is mortar. That's why
because
we
they
don't
have
need that one.
spec mix. Who you get it from Angelus. Anyway, they'll have a mortar mix, and the mortar mix has some fibers in it, so it doesn't crack.
Well, either way,
I mean, I'm sorry, stucco.
Right, stucco.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I get all the cement and the concrete and the stucco and all that kind of stuff. Gets me confused. Now, so we're just buttoning that whole mess up. Had a funny one yesterday, which is got into mill on the plastic.
Yeah.
We're doing Natalia's window, so I said, let's hang up a sheet of plastic, about 3 foot back, so nothing gets into the room, And then I thought about it, and I thought I should tell those guys to get thin plastic so it's not heavy, so it doesn't fall off the whatever. But I didn't. Then they showed up some thicker plastic. And it was a little heavier. So I said, Gary, we got to get it up on that ceiling. We got to really tape it up there because this stuff's heavy. And at a certain point, I noticed it was sagging down using the blue tape, 2-inch wide blue tape. Noticed it was sagging. Got up on the ladder, took a look-see. Saw that all of the blue tape was on the plastic and none of it hung over. It's just this crazy thing. Like you see a stretch of 2 feet where 100% of the blue tape that is being used to hold the plastic onto the thing is exclusively on the plastic. And they're like, I don't think this is going to work, Gary. Like, I know the plastic is heavy, but I feel like we're hurting our chances. Even if it was a lighter mill plastic, it would still be nearly impossible to get it to stay on the ceiling.
Maybe he was thinking like doubling up the tape.
It can be a 60-40 split, but to have 100% of it on the plastic, I think it's bound to sag. It's just bound. It's just bound to sag. So next time, and maybe I wasn't clear because I said just take the plastic and take the tape, but we should strive
to
it stick on the lid.
At least part of it onto the ceiling, right? Not just all on the plastic. It was this crazy thing where I got up on a ladder from the outside. I could just see the blue outline of the tape going all the way across the plastic. Oh, but to be fair, it was only for like a 2-foot run, but that part wasn't sticking the way we would have liked it. Rapid Set Stucco Mix is a pre-mixed stucco material blended with Rapid Set cement.
The Rapid Set's different. That's the stuff that knocks off fast.
High quality plaster, sand, and high performance additives. All right. So we got a question up there, Rezo. Anyway, Natalia's over the moon about her room, and she's never stopped kissing my ass.
There you go.
Yeah. I turned her around, man.
I'm proud to show it off. She was bragging at that party we were at a couple weeks ago.
Oh, she's into it. Even Sonny Macabunny. I came in the other day, yesterday. He was up on his loft bed, chilling.
There you go.
Getting used to acclimating to the climate, he said. Getting used to the new vibe up there.
Does he sleep up there? Is he comfy?
Not yet. I went to IKEA. I bought him a sofa. It fits nicely under there. I built him the ladder 2 weekends ago, as described to by me to use. And now he's got the ladder up. He's got the sofa under there, and I still haven't hit the room. I got to move some things around. I've been busy. I got to hit it.
Do you think he will sleep up there?
Oh, yeah. He's up there. He's climbing up his ladder. He's getting up there. I like that. I like the thin plastic shrunk-wrapped cable going down there. I don't like that 4x4 going to the ground. I'll tell you, the 1x I feel good about, man. The 1x is all you need.
Could you and him get up there?
You could do whatever you want up there. I really think it's sort of about movement. I don't think you could jump around up there. But if you climbed up and lay down, I think you could definitely do it. All right, there's a hollow wall anchor. Janelle has a question. Let's see. Janelle, 45, Las Vegas. Janelle.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what you got?
So, some people are a little overkill on what they use to hang pictures and whatever. And the person that I bought this house from kind of went a little nuts on using, more aggressive. You know what a hollow wall anchor is? Of course you do.
Yeah.
So now I've got these flanges, metal flanges, on walls in places that I don't want them. And I'm like, okay, so what's the smart way to take this out?
Okay, so there's screw shields. There's the kind that you just drill a hole and you pop it in. And then when you put the screw, this is all for drywall where there's no studs.
Right.
Okay.
The zinc ones are great.
They have the zinc ones that screw in. They have the one that you drill a hole and they pop in, plastic ones. They have these old lead ones. Then they have toggle bolts. Those are the spring-loaded.
Right. Well, they already took out, in California, anything that's attached to the wall, when you sell a house, you're not allowed to take it out. Well, apparently that is not the law here in Las Vegas because they actually tore out the shelving that they had in the bathroom and left me massive toggle hole bolts.
Well, yeah, then they have the toggle kind, and then you have the crush kind, the kind that just turn into toggle. As you tighten up the screw, they start to flatten out, and the wings start to spread out.
On the other side.
Right.
I believe that's what I'm dealing with, but I couldn't swear to it.
I feel as a mother, and a mother knows. Yeah. I feel that's what you're dealing with. That's what I feel.
Your intuition tells you, yeah. That's
mother's intuition.
My intuition.
All right,
yeah,
so now
my intuition tells me that too.
All right, now how do we get those things out? Without making a mess. And
mess.
It's tough.
Push them through.
My instinct is I push through rather than a pull through. Yeah. Although pushing through is not going to be the easiest ever either.
But this has got a flat flange that
on the outside. That's probably
huge.
Half an inch. How big is it?
No. It's probably looking at an 8. All the way around, and then it's got a little
hold on.
notch.
Let's use areolas for scale.
Okay.
Ray has small areolas. Matt, I imagine, has tremendous areolas.
Okay,
so is it a man-sized areola?
I'm like a dime, Matt. What are you?
Not that big at all, actually.
Let me see.
This is about dime size. The whole affair is dime size, I would say.
It's about
on
a
the wall.
dime
Maybe
size.
You might be getting into Spanish money on this one, but call it a dime.
So call it a dime. Ray, would you take a X-Acto, like a
Score it around
try
or
to
something?
loosen it up around it and kind of punch it through, and then just go with like a patchy patch?
If you can grip it, like, can you pull it out a little bit and then just take an angle grinder, zip it off?
Oh, but I don't think she can pull it out a little bit. I think if it's crushed, it's tight.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tight to the wall. But my issue is that it's not just one. They've got a couple different ones in the bedroom here.
I just
and
take
I'm
a punch then and just smack it through.
That could just make a hole.
So what?
Well,
Fix
so
the hole.
what? So that. Well, all right. Hold on a second. Hold on.
Should have asked you about my roof instead.
You got no sloppiness in there, right? Like you can't pop it out.
No, but it does have little. I'm sort of tempted to call them ears. They're little cutouts in the actual flange itself.
But that's not that's not going to give you any slop. You can't pull it out and get a little room.
I'm just thinking I might be able to get a little flathead on each side of it and maybe spin it. I don't think that'll buy me anything.
I like Ray's.
I try and pull one out. And
I like Ray's idea, except for Ray's idea is for a fairly skilled person. And I'll give you, for instance, Ray.
Yeah.
Listen, tell me what you think. You get a Dremel, okay?
Oh, a Dremel, yeah, that'd probably work.
A Dremel. You get a thin cut-off wheel, the sideways thin cut-off wheel, and you buzz that thing at the top and the bottom, like you just cut the metal. Then you take some needle nose pliers and you just like bust the two ears off.
Yeah,
then
that'll work.
You just punch it through, and now you got a hole that's 3/16 or something you could spackle over.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
the solution.
Done and done.
You got a Dremel?
I do. I have a plug-in Dremel with a whole little carton of
dual
cut-off
use,
wheels, so I can do it.
Yeah, I pulled my Dremel out the other day on a weekend to try to use it. Open it up, had all the bits scattered around.
No Dremel.
Little wrench.
Gone.
Of course. Why would the little wrench you need? Why would it not be in there? Of course, you can't be in there. But that's
amazing.
It's so fucking insane. Like, that's all I do is tell these guys, like, just put on a little zip tie and put it on the cord. Like, it's got to be in there.
And you can't use a crescent or anything because the collet's so tiny.
It's just like,
it's
why
like a
is
little
this not
slot
in there? And they'll go, well, I was using it. I took it out and put it on the counter, and then Gary put the tools away. Like, okay, just put the mini wrench in with the fucking thing.
You know what I do at the end of the day? Pocket check. Check your fucking pockets. Put the stuff away. Because people put stuff in their pocket and go home and forget it. They do.
I got to tell you guys, you people, I did get my Dremel out and do a little work. The thing about people think they want to use something reciprocating all the time. Like they think, oh, I'm going to cut these little ears off of this outlet so it can drop it down behind the tile. I'll get a little Sawzall out of her. No, you'll make a mess. You'll pull the thing out. Get a wheel. You get a super thin carborundum type wheel, and you just can just clip it right off, like total surgery. It's not grabbing and kicking and pulling and penetrating.
I mean, even when you're doing decorative tile, like sometimes the tile will have a little ear on it that you got to get rid of. Same deal.
Right.
Just knock it down.
But the thinner the wheel, the higher the RPM, the better. So many people think, I got to get a saw. No, saws are messy.
They are.
All right. So go ahead, Janelle. Hey, Janelle. She's gone. Buzz off those things. Use your little, and you'll catch a little drywall. That's fine. And then once you score it pretty good, just take your needle nose and just move it back and forth, snap it off, push it through.
Done.
Okay.
I can't believe somebody took built-in shelves.
You got to learn. I try to tell people 3/4 of this that we're talking about is like knowing which tool does what, right?
A lot of it.
What that tool is for that application.
Hey, listen, I got that fine multi-tool with the quick release. Mm-hmm. I love it. Used it yesterday to knock out a little block.
Rob said he lost your quick release. He took it off and lost it.
Okay.
So he can't use it anymore.
All right.
Says it's with my
Tell him
miniature,
thanks.
it's with my mini wrench for my Dremel.
He's got them both in his back pocket.
All right, where was I? Tommy John, man. When you were a kid, who bought your underwear? Mom? Maybe Dad? Well, now you're a man. Let's start dressing like it. Tommy John. Next generation of men's underwear, crafted from feather-light, breathable fabrics that move with you. Never any riding up. Features a contoured pouch. I like that. And keeps your goods nestled up front. A patented horizontal quick-draw fly, too, man. Plus, super soft undershirts. Crew, tank, or tee never come untucked. And socks made with a proprietary. Yeah, proprietary, man. Proprietary stay up technology. Never see that word. And they never roll down. It's all the best. Why would you go? You'll never go back. You go Tommy John, you don't go back. All backed by the best pair you'll ever wear. Or it's free, guarantee. So you got nothing to lose. Let's get some Tommy John, Matt.
Use code Adam at TommyJohn.com now for 20% off your first order. That's Adam for 20% off at TommyJohn.com, TommyJohn.com.
All right, we got a question up here. J33. Jay?
Hey there, Ace Man. Thanks for taking the call.
Oregon, what's going on, man?
All the way back to the Love Line days, so it's kind of an honor for me to get to talk with you.
Thanks.
So on to the question.
An honor.
My wife and I bought a house about a year ago.
Hold on, Jay. Let me stop you. Winner.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So we bought a house a year ago in Oregon, and we're blessed to live amongst the trees in this beautiful part of the country, but we also deal with a lot of rain, obviously. So, basically the story is it's an old house that was moved from another part of town about 10 years ago by somebody else and set on a new foundation, new electrical, new plumbing. So it's a 1920s era house, but a lot of the conveniences of modern living. So ideally kind of the best of both worlds sort of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So our long-term plans are to turn the basement, which is basically unfinished or minimally finished at this time, but to eventually finish it off with a extra bedroom or two, TV room, man cave sort of thing. And went through the first winter here and noticed that one side of the basement wall was sweating a little bit on the rainiest of days. And then, even one time after about 5 or 6 straight days of downpour, just a tiny little puddle that, I could sort of sop up with a towel. And so the side of the house where this is occurring on is kind of up against a downslope where you back up to sort of forest land, undeveloped land, and it's a bit of a slope. So my question was, if I'm going to pursue a French drain, which I've been told might be the way to go, would I be better off to put that French drain kind of at the edge of my property or right up against my house in terms of which would be more effective to divert the water?
Mm-hmm. Well,
first of all, are you sure the water's wicking through the wall? I mean, it sounds like you might have some humidity thing where it's just gathering inside.
I don't know that. I just sort of suppose, or I was assuming that's where it came from, but I don't know for sure.
The house was moved, but obviously the basement wasn't moved. So
correct.
The basement is 20 years old?
Maybe 15, yeah.
So it's fairly newish. And
it was built to accommodate the house, right? Obviously.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct, yeah.
And they obviously they did some waterproofing or what have you because they're in the part of the country they're in, and they built in sort of modern times. So there were some accommodations for that. But it's like always. It's just it can never. It's you can never fight.
Might be some dude, yeah, and it also might be some dude who didn't cover it right or exactly. Like one dude side did it right, other guy didn't. Put the meld.
He did a good enough job that it basically worked. It just didn't work good enough to stop it from causing a puddle at the bottom.
And before I spend 6 figures plus out of my pocket to really do up the basement nice. I want to make sure that it's as close to watertight as I can.
Yeah.
Make it.
So first off, is the water kicking away? Is the slope going that way? Is the drainage pipes that come off the roof, the gutters and everything, is everything sort of copacetic in terms of pushing the water away?
Yeah, it is. That's at least from looking at the house. In general, all the gutter pipes sort of drain to the low side of the house that are away. And
all right, so now, Ray,
it seems to be just a physical. The location of that side of the house happens to be abutting kind of that downsloping, undeveloped land adjacent to me.
Ray, what's the French drain going to do if the stuff's just sort of penetrating and coming down?
Well, then you'd have to put the French drain below grade. You know what I'm saying? Below that floor.
Yeah,
below.
I mean
Yeah. So I mean, how much digging is that?
Basement. It is a walkout basement, so the basement is. Above ground.
Okay. So how much would you have to excavate to get a French drain in there?
I would think probably 3 or 4 feet deep.
Are we talking about the perforated pipe that we put the sock over?
No sock anymore. They don't like.
They don't like the sock
because
anymore.
The sock gets clogged.
Oh, okay.
So you don't use the sock anymore. It gets
Just
clogged with sediment.
Gravel.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So he doesn't have that much to excavate, because it's above ground.
Yeah.
So I would just go hog wild on that one side and get it below grade.
It's got to excavate some, though, right, Jay?
Well, 3 to 4 feet worth.
Okay.
I mean, but he's not talking 8 feet.
That's my estimate of kind of the change in height from the basement's lower portion to kind of the height of the land adjacent, if you would.
But also, if you do that, if you do excavate all that stuff, you got a really great chance to waterproof that whole side to all get out. You know what I mean?
What would you do, Ray? What would you do if you're waterproofing the side of a poured cement basement these days?
I would use the Melroll, break it down 50-50 water and Melroll. That's your one coat. Then you do
What's Melroll?
Melroll is like a tar.
Tar.
It's a tar, but it's it's not, doesn't have to be heated.
Right.
Comes in a 5-gallon.
Paint on the tar.
Paint it on twice. Then I'd use that fabric that they have with the felt and then the like air bubble sockets, like the packing material, but it's not. It's like made out of PVC or something.
Yeah.
And then put that on so all the water wicks when it hits up there. It wicks down. And then use that roll, and then you make the roll below grade, roll it up, and then you have your gravel and your pipe in there.
Below grade and roll it so it wicks from the top, goes down, hits the drain.
Right, and then it all gathers and heads out.
Matt, you got
it more than once.
You got a question for us over there?
Yeah, we got a video question. As always, please email us, aceonthehouse@adamcarolla.com. And more importantly, go to aceontheroof.com. While you're there, click on our Amazon button, help support the show. All right, here's a video question.
Ace Ray Stromer, get it on, big fan of the show. Working on my first investment project here.
Winner.
Got a flip, and I wanted some input from you guys.
Cabinets,
trying to save some money, but I want to make sure it doesn't look cheap. These cabinets here, they're in decent shape, but it doesn't really go with the theme that we're looking for. Cabinets are in good shape. Would you refinish these, and if so, some tips on how to refinish these properly? I'm going to paint them white, but again, I don't want it to look like I just sprayed some trim clad over the stuff.
Yeah, so it's got a kitchen, it's flipping a house, pulled away
that old schooly oak,
and,
1980s.
And then one other thing too,
red oak.
Got some plaster that I've been scraping like crazy. We had I think there was some moisture damage at one time, and I've been scraping the crap out of the ceilings and the walls, and it's taking forever. If you have any tips on how to get this off faster, I'm using a scraper, and some spots are coming off easier than others. It's taking a long time.
Plaster.
Or would you just plaster over it and feather it out? Anyhow, any input you guys have,
you from?
much appreciated. Love you guys.
Canadian.
Yeah.
All right, so as far as me and plaster goes, if it's not sprung off the wall and you just kind of keep scraping until it stops scraping, and if it stops, then it's stuck. Then you can feather it from that point on.
And use some Weldcrete on it. Actually, I just knock down the heavy stuff like you're talking about. And the other stuff, I'd leave it. I'd throw the pink Weldcrete on.
Paint it on,
and then just float it all out.
With plaster.
Yeah. Well, with smooth set.
Yeah,
whatever.
okay.
And then as far as the kitchen, paint and change those awful pulls. Those pulls are the worst.
The handles.
Yeah.
Was it the door handle? I was looking at the door handles, but the pulls were pretty bad.
They're all bad. Yeah. Change those out. It's a 4-inch spread. Get something more contemporary. Paint those cabinets like you love seafoam green. I'd paint them white. I'd paint them any color but what they are.
Right. Now, if you're going to paint...
Change out the hinges. Give it some pop. If
you're going to
exposed.
paint a stained cabinet with clear sprayed on it, which those look like.
Yeah.
I would just scuff it and paint it, prime it and paint it.
Yeah, steel wool it.
You don't have to take all the clear off.
No.
Or get it down to the bare anything. Just, especially if you're flipping the house.
And then use that shellac-based, primer. That'll stick to anything. And then just paint over that.
Well, and also, let me riddle you this. They have tons of cool, Euro finishes. You don't have to go down to Home Depot and get Navajo white and semi-gloss anymore. They got the stuff that comes in, the small cans. Looks like the side of a boat.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. It's probably not lacquer-based, but Euro, cost a bunch for a little can, but a little can will
go a long
way.
And the paints sit flat now. I mean, they sit, like you're saying, the Euro stuff is way better. It's not even Euro now. Now it's here.
Right. So what I'm saying is instead of just painting it white with semi-gloss and a weenie roller, I would go down to the local paint store, kind of hit the cool section, and see what cool offerings they had.
Like Benjamin Moore makes a really good one. I mean, I'll bring them up, but they make that Grant entrance where that quart is $40. But great stuff.
It's something like this. It's not about materials. It's all about labor.
Yeah.
And you get so much pop for your buck when somebody walks into that new kitchen and those cabinets are done right versus... again, Navajo
they're so
white
bad,
with a
make them
roller.
disappear, and then get new pulls, and you're going to be fine.
All right. And you'll be fine if you get Simply Safe, man. You take precautions every day. Like when Ray cuts steel with a carborundum blade, he turns his head.
I do.
That's right. Now, some people would wear protective eyewear, but not me and Ray. But we take precautions. We turn our head. How about your house? How about Simply Safe? How about no hassles? Just order online, completely wireless, comes pre-programmed to work right out of the box. Install it yourself in under an hour. No activation fees, no holes in the walls, no exposed wires. Very easy. Round-the-clock professional monitoring with emergency dispatch. Only $14.99 with no long-term lock-in contracts. So, go to simplysafeadam.com. Get 10% off when you order today. I have it. August has it. Dawson has it. Simply Safe, SIMPLI, simplysafeadam.com. Get 10% off your home security system. Simply Safe. All right, Matt, what you got out there?
Well, we got an email here from Paul from Chicago. I'm 33 and have owned my condo in downtown Chicago for 3 years.
Winner!
I've also recently noticed in the master bathroom on both sinks. Winner. When you turn on
2 sinks.
It's pretty crazy. When you turn on either the hot or cold water or both, there is residual water that pours from the hot water faucet. I've twisted off the cylindrical casing on the hot water stem to see where the leak is coming from, but cannot locate the source. Any ideas on how to fix this, or will I need to call a plumber? Love the show. Any advice would be great.
All right. I'm going to be in Chicago in a week, Park West.
Maybe you can head over there and fix the sink.
Come on out and say hi. Maybe
Week from today, the show's posting.
Swing by the house and I'll fix your sink. Well, obviously, washer, valve, something bad.
It's a gasket.
It's not.
It's the washer.
It's the
hard
washer.
rubber washer, yeah.
Yeah,
it's got a nick in it or something, or it's worn.
Yeah.
It's not seated properly.
Yeah. So what do we do? Do we go down and shut the angle stop off on the hot side and maybe the cold side too? And we go underneath, we shut it off, then we pull the whole valve out, take a crescent wrench and remove the whole valve.
From the bottom, not the top.
Not the top.
Yeah, you got to do it from the bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I was picturing doing it from the top.
You can do it from the top, but if you want to take the whole thing out, the whole cartridge, then you got to do it from the bottom too.
Okay, take the whole cartridge down. You go down to Home Depot. You find the plumbing aisle, and you find the one that
matches,
looks like yours.
Yeah,
but we're not going to take yours apart and buy a washer.
You can. Well, you can, but it's better if you go there and just get the whole thing. Take the whole thing with you,
and then. Also
they might even have replacement ones,
Right, that's what I'm saying. And then do the washer that's in there when you replace the cartridge, too.
And by the way, what he had was Glacier Bay, so that is Home Depot, and it's very accessible.
Okay. So that makes it easy.
That makes it a cheap condo. Just saying.
Let's not judge.
Winner!
So, I got my room done. I got Sonny's room done, although not quite. I got Natalia's room. Hers is completely done. I went and took a tour of the new soccer stadium that they're building in front of the Coliseum. They don't even have the team yet. They're building a 20,000 seat soccer stadium.
Where?
You know where the Coliseum is?
Yeah.
When you walk into the front of the Coliseum, it's where the sports arena was. It took the whole thing down.
Okay.
It's like when you're walking into the Coliseum, it'd be on the left, basically. It's where the old sports arena was.
Gotcha.
They demolished that, building a state-of-the-art soccer stadium, which is totally bitchin', except for it's for soccer. And they're doing this thing, which I found really interesting, which is the side of the Coliseum has that 1x6 board form. You can see the stripes.
Yeah, you can
going
see
up the side.
You can see all the grain,
and knot holes and everything like that. They did the opening for this place and a lot of the outside of this place with that same way, but they did it with modern day forms. And what they did is they found a lumber mill to mill them. What looks like rough sawn cedar, although it's pine, but it's a rough sawn look, 1x6, and they took all of that and they spaced it out and they put it on
They stamp it, right?
They don't stamp it. They put it on the inside of the form, the plywood form. Then they form it up like they normally form it up with the plywood and the big aluminum bars and kickers and straps and everything. And then they pump it in and they vibrate it real good. And when they strip the form, it just has that look. But it's not a stamp and it's not synthetic. It's
an actual,
literally just taking the actual boards and putting them inside the form.
I love that look, by the way. I just think it's the greatest.
It looks killer. It looks really killer. I was looking at it, and I was thinking when I build my new house, I was thinking, I like this look. That'd be a cool look on the outside of the house.
I don't know how many stories you're going to do, but the first story, that would give it such a base.
That's a bitchin' look.
It'd be super powerful.
The other thing I noticed, and again, I'm a little behind on the times, but this is state of the art, Euro soccer, whatever. They had blocks like our cement blocks that we use, or cinder blocks, you'd call them, or whatever. But they have all these burnished ones now, and all these colored ones now.
They have ones that look like tile.
And they have these really bitchin', finished looking blocks, So instead of stacking the blocks and then skimming it with stucco, they stack it, and the blocks look cool now. They're finished. They have cap pieces, for the tops and stuff.
They've had those for a while.
Oh,
I love them.
I'm sure. I just haven't really seen them too much. And I thought, between that finished block look, meeting or in conjunction with the grainy pattern with the strong.
Because you would have one horizontal and then one vertical look. That would look kind of cool.
I don't know.
In the stack block, 8-inch.
Yeah, I don't think you do vertical with the
block.
No. Oh, well, the block wouldn't be vertical, just be the block, right?
But it'd be stacked look, so it'd be square, not offset.
Right, and then you go with this, and again, you go with the rough sawn stuff, so it gives you a real hardy grain in
really
the
shows.
Concrete, you know, and you leave that space, that 3/16 in between, and
where
it gets oozes out.
Bit. Yeah.
And I think somewhere between the block and that stuff on the exterior could be just a great look.
Well, now you know what you're going to do.
Yeah, and that's why...
When are you going to break ground there?
Soon. I don't know when, but soon. But that's why you got to, go check it out. I mean, go, take a tour. I know the guy whose outfit is building that place, and Jack is his name, and he's a good dude, and it's just good to walk those... It's good to walk those sites and see all that's going on and see all the state-of-the-art everything. It was really interesting stuff. Again, it's too bad they have to waste that place with soccer. Jesus Christ.
The first time I saw the blocks you're speaking of, which look like they use them in the subway, by the way, but the first time I saw them 20-odd years ago, Alvarez Street rebuild.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I saw them there, and I was going, wow, that is the coolest-looking thing ever.
They have, what is it called, burnished? Where they there's the ones where they, hit with the metal. The heat, and they hit it with the metal blade or whatever. Then there's just full-on glazed ones?
Yeah. They have glazed ones with different colors that, are down. So it still has the 8/8/16, but it's 8 and 8 because of the finished face is like tile and tile. You know what I mean?
Well, all I'm saying to you, peeps out there, is there's a lot of really cool stuff out there and a lot of really interesting stuff. And this was interesting because it's in the shadow of the Coliseum, and the Coliseum was built in the 20s. And if you go to the Coliseum, where the Trojans play and I guess the Rams play, and you look up the side of that thing, it goes up 100 feet, and it still's got the stripes all the way down.
Yeah.
The planks.
Great.
I guess they must have done it in 10-foot increments back then and doweled it or something, and then just went up to the next thing.
I think there's ties in it. I think there's also steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't have that much steel back then. All right.
Well, you were talking post-industrial revolution.
It was a sad day at the Carolla house.
What happened?
Well, I took Natalia, replaced her window, and I had to take down the blinds, galore blinds. Hold on, just give me a second.
Sorry.
Obviously we were respectful. We didn't take them and just throw them and chuck them in some dumpster. We laid them out. They're laid out like the rotunda, like when a dignitary dies. What do they call that, Matt?
Paying homage.
When they put them in the rotunda, and they lay them out, and they let the people come. That's in. Oh God, what is that called? Gary will look it up.
It's not when tribute. It's
when Kennedy
I know what you're talking about.
When Kennedy got shot, they take it in the rotunda there, and they lay it out. That's what we did in the garage. Laying in state. We laid him in state.
And then you gave him the Gary, and he put him in his...
No.
Okay.
No. I don't give my blinds galore away. I will find another home for these babies. They were hanging in Natalia's room, and then we switched a window out completely. Maybe we'll have to get some more blinds galore. Anyway, you've worked hard all summer. How about you reward yourself 100% custom window coverings from Blinds Galore? Over 2 million windows and counting. Their experts will guide you every step of the way. We have them in the studio. We have them in the... I was just sitting in the edit bay over there. They're over there. Willie T. Ribbs movie coming along nicely, by the way. Yeah, they'll send you out... they'll ship you out free samples, up to 15 free samples. You worked hard enough. Blinds Galore makes it easy. Get the custom blinds and shades you've always wanted for your home. And they're good friends, and they're good clients, so check them out. And they do great work. BlindsGalore.com. They got a sale going on. Let's get in on that. All right, let's see, Ray. Power Garage, huh? What?
Why not?
Hey, Utah, Skylar, 30. What's going on?
Hey, Stray, get it on. I was just wondering, I got a table saw and planer and joiner and things in my garage, and somebody has kind of jimmy-rigged the wiring to just have power in the garage. I was wondering if I need like a certain voltage in there, like a 220 or something, or do I need to run something bigger? It just kind of seems like it trips breakers when I run too much out there.
Yeah, the table saw is a big draw. A lot of that stuff's a big draw. And the thing about running power tools on a weak draw is kind of just like putting bad gasoline in your high-performance car. Like, it's got to be bad for it. I will tell you, when you get that power saw, that contractor saw, table saw, hooked up the 220, you turn on, just bzzz, it just starts humming.
Like hovering.
It hums versus like, like it is
getting up to
a
speed.
Huge difference. Skylar, if you're at all serious about spending time in there and setting up the shop correctly and getting the right tools and so on and so forth, the first call I would make would be to an electrician and really get that place safely and correctly lined out, because if you don't do that first step, everything you do after it is just going to suffer. When
it's a little moot.
You'll be running extension cords into the house. It'll be losing a lot of big draw, losing a lot of power. Just get
the sub panel, get 100 amps out there, that kind of thing.
like really just spend a few bucks, take a little time, get that groundwork laid, and then you'll have this great base to jump off of and to expand off of.
Okay.
I mean, it also sounds like what you've got going on, it could be a little bit hazardous, like as far as fire and such. I mean, because it sounds like you're pulling a lot of power. I mean, are the wires okay with that? I mean, especially if you're running a joiner. I mean, is that because I've seen extensions melt.
What kind of table saw do you have?
It's just a Craftsman, a 10-inch table saw, just a normal one. But I've learned to unplug other things and just only plug in one thing at a time.
There you go. How old is it? You want to step up to like a Jet or something like that and get a bigger fence?
Yeah, someday, yeah.
Well, what are you looking to make?
I do a lot of woodworking, and I make build like tables and stuff like that.
All right, I'm just saying, if this is your thing and you do a lot of it and it's where you want to go, lay down that base, get that sub panel, get that 220, run some rigid conduit, do it right, make it right, maybe step up to a higher quality table saw, something that'll run off 220 or 240 now. I don't know what they call it anymore. And really just
three-phase stuff.
Take a little time and get it right and move forward and be safe.
Okay.
He's right. Hate to say it, but he is.
All right. Thank you for your help.
Thanks, Skylar. It'd be a good jackass move. You guys listening? Jackass, they got blades. They got the blades that spin around. You put your finger in them and they stop.
Saw stop.
The saw stop.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. If you guys ever look at it, they get that thing whipping around like a tape. There's nothing scarier than a table saw.
You can throw your cock in it. It's going to be fine.
That's what I'm saying. You see a table saw really going, and you have to actually push your finger into it. Now imagine putting the junk in it. That'd be the greatest jackass move of all time, yes?
I do my sack. I don't think I do the shaft.
You do the sack?
I do the sack. No shaft.
What about mid-shaft? No head?
Nah, sack. What would you do?
Sack for how much?
$100,000.
Well, how much mid-shaft?
300.
How about the turkey gobbler between the shaft and the sack? Like that piece that just connected.
Free!
That's gratis. All right.
That's free.
Throw that one in. I like that about you, man. And I like LifeLock, man. Equifax recently announced a breach that could affect 143 million Americans. 200,000 credit card numbers were accessed, plus personal data, including Social Security numbers, for about 180,000 folks were accessed. This is no bueno, people. Take care of yourself, man. You're 11 times more likely to become a victim of identity fraud if you're notified of a breach. Let's get LifeLock. I have it. The kids have it. Lynette has it. It detects a wide range of identity threats that you may miss by just monitoring your credit, like someone stealing from your 401k, man. Look, If there's a problem, their U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will work to fix it. Let's not play around with your identity and identity theft. This is a serious problem and a serious crime. LifeLock. Matt.
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can help you see more threats to your identity. Go to LifeLock.com or call 1-800-LifeLock. Use promo code Adam, that's Adam, for 10% off your LifeLock membership. Visit LifeLock.com and save 10% now.
Ace, let's say this all starts up, right? Mm-hmm. How would you approach this? Would you be, like, quiet with it and just, kind of head nudge over there and then go for it? Or would you do
I can't see myself doing bonsai. I feel like I have to go like Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, like harness, lower down,
nuts dangling,
but obviously
like a Bond movie
with some spotters. A lot of the guys you see at like the cheerleading competitions, the kind of buff short guys like by me, holding on to me. This guy started to spin around a little bit, like steadying me. Like the cheerleader spotter guys at the competition. Strong build, but not showing off. We could tell. They're wearing, the sleeves are going down to their elbows, but we can tell they got some guns.
They're just all G-strings.
Under there. They got the right shoes. They got kind of the right stance. Those guys would be spotting me, and then we'd be lowering me down. That's all. Simple.
This is just
like you picture
next
it.
Week.
All right, let's do it. That's big ratings. All right, not Taco Bell material, one-man show coming to Chicago, man, a week from today. So come on out, say hi, Park West. Then Minneapolis, October 13th, October 14th, Nashville. That ought to be fun. Say hi. And lots of shows everywhere, live shows and otherwise. And Carolla drinks and everything else. Let's go to AdamCarolla.com. Check it out. Rayzo.
Follow me on the Twitter, Ray Oldhofer. Please.
So, till next time. Adam Carolla for Ray Oldhofer saying, mahalo.
Subscribe on iTunes or visit aceontheroof.com.